to talk Alabama football on a Friday TGIF edition of the show. Hottest show on these streets here. We're talking nothing but your Crimson Tide. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy to have you all in here checking out the show on this evening. We bring you the show to the Magic City of Birmingham. We stream this to you through YouTube. Speaking of the channel, you go ahead right now, you tap that subscribe button, hit subscribe right now, share the show to everybody that you know. Every diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, consumer of Tide football, family members, everybody that you know. You share the show around because if you're feeling the content, guess what? They will as well. Continue to also tap that like button. Give us that thumbs up right there. Like the show right there. Show that support. Trying to get this show 50 likes out the gate to start it here. We appreciate you guys. That daily super chat go $100. Daily super chat go $100 right there. We appreciate you guys. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that way you miss absolutely nothing when it comes down to your Bama football. Eli, it's the last day of June. Tomorrow is July 1. We're getting closer to SEC Media Days. We're getting closer to fall camp for college football. We're getting closer to SEC Network takeover. Tomorrow, the University of Alabama takes over the SEC Network programming. But happy to have you guys in here. And for those of you who want to be among the first group, the first wave of people to help us regrow, rebuild our message board for Touchdown Alabama Magazine, the link to the message board can be found in the chat line and in the description. But we want to hear from you guys tonight. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358, the number to call in to let your voice be made known on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358, the number also there on the screen. But Eli, going to dive into topic number one here of the conversation, that being an Alabama defensive lineman has entered his name into the NCAA transfer portal. It is everywhere now, and that young man is none other than one Jamil Burroughs of a defensive line entering his name into the portal. Burroughs at 6'3", over 300 pounds, 303 pounds to be exact. Here's a young man that came to the University of Alabama as a four-star from McEachern High School in the Atlanta, Georgia area in the 2020 signing class. He helped Alabama that year as a freshman to get to the college football playoff and win a national championship. And there was so much high hope for Burroughs, especially he and T.M. Smith together. A lot of people felt like, okay, both of these two guys, they came in together. They came in the same class. Both were highly touted athletes on the defensive front. So at some point, they were both going to blow up together and bring that pain there on the defensive line. But unfortunately here for Burroughs, has put his name in the NCAA transfer portal. And for Coach Saban, he's trying to get back to having that right culture, that discipline, the right mindset, the right way of going about things and doing things. And we all go back to the story that happened 2 weeks ago that got everywhere. Jamil Burroughs, an incident took place, and his behavior detrimental in terms of the team, and has not been currently with the team or hasn't been practicing with the team, what I was told. And so now, with all of this going on, Burroughs seeking more of a chance to be on the field, seeking more opportunities to play, or he's entered his name into the portal. And even though, when Alabama loses a guy, it does hurt the depth to some degree, but at the same time, not a huge loss not having Jamil Burroughs, just due to the guys you have. Well, the next guy's up, and these guys are on screen. You look at Justin Boygby, who's back for a fifth year. He could be one of those two starting defensive ends. You got guys like Damon Payne, who got time last year. He could be a starter as a defensive end. You got guys, like I mentioned, Big Tim Smith. People have been waiting on him to kind of break out, be the bully, do his thing up front. He could be a defensive end. And then you got James Smith from Carver High School in Montgomery in his freshman season coming up here in the fall, going back to spring practice. There were so many reports about him dominating guys in the spring that you also have to look at, James Smith. So there's several guys who can play at one of those two defensive end spots to fill in the place they're left behind by Burroughs as he is in the NCAA transfer portal. Wish the best for him. Hopefully he lands in a good spot that's productive for him, but put his name in the portal as of today. But we take our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting started. Upon our return, we go to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations, your thoughts on Jamil Burroughs entering the transfer portal. We talk to you guys. Line us up after this.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
As we're back rocking and rolling and here to the action from the break on a Friday, TGIF edition of the show. Hottest show on the streets here, talking Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. And we got to show some love to Jonathan McMillan. One time, Jonathan McMillan dropping the $100 donation in the Super Chats. He takes care of a daily Super Chat go by himself. Appreciate the support there coming from one Jonathan McMillan, helping us out right here on the show. Continue to hit that like button. Show that support right there, tapping that subscribe button as well. Making this your spot to talk all things Bama football. Phone lines are open right now. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in to voice your opinion, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Number also on screen. We're going to grab this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Oh, man, this is Scooter, man. I'm calling from Tuscaloosa.
How we feeling, man?
Man, I'm great, man. And the main reason I'm calling, I'm just wondering, like what are we really missing with him transferring?
I mean, you're not really missing much with Burroughs transferring. I mean, of course, you like to have more depth there up front on your defensive line. But like I mentioned, you got Justin Aboigbe back. You got Tim Smith. You've got Damon Payne. You've got James Smith. You've got Tim Keenan. You've got Monkel Goodwine. I mean, you got dudes. You got dudes that can play up front there at either, defensive end position. So it's not like you're missing a ginormous name, no.
Yeah, and I understand that, but it's like it's getting to a point now with the transfer portal where kids are jumping in the transfer portal to get somewhere else. But like with that, does that kind of show character also?
I mean, a lot of people look at the transfer portal as just for some guys an easy way out. For others, maybe they get a better opportunity elsewhere. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. But what I was told in regards to Burroughs, it was a character issue that led to him not being with the team currently at this moment. The incident happened a little over 2 weeks ago. And so now with him pursuing the portal, just won't play in time. Saban's trying to get this culture back where he wanted it. And if you're not willing to rock with the culture the way Saban wants it at, then he's going to basically tell you may want to find you another place to be.
All right, man. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Appreciate that call right there from Scooter calling in from Tuscaloosa on the show. And that's kind of my sentiment of it. Saban's trying to get the culture of this program where he wants to be at. This is why he made the coaching staff moves that he made, letting go of some guys, bringing some guys in. Whether they on-field coaches, support staff coaches, he's trying to have this culture back to being a respected, a revered, an elite, dominant culture where everybody does their job. Everybody follows their role. Everybody, answers to the protocol, so to speak. And if you're not willing to do that, of course, Coach Saban's going to look at you and go, you might want to find yourself a better place to be at. And that's where you have Jamil Burroughs putting his name into the transfer portal. Once again, best wishes to him. Hopefully he finds a place where he can go, he can get on the field and play. We'll see what happens there. But 205-448-1358, the number to call in to let your voice be made known. 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from you, the incredible fans of Alabama football. But we get to this call topic right here, Eli, and it's on the former Alabama linebacker Will Anderson, who participated in the photo shoot for the Houston Texans. And boy, is he looking good in that number 51. Anderson, of whom, number 3 overall pick, this recent draft by the Texans, performed well, rookie minicamp, organized team activities, or OTAs, mandatory minicamp, getting ready for training camp soon, signed his fully guaranteed rookie contract, now took part there in the team photo shoot. Before we continue on Will Anderson, we grab this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steve, what's up with you, man? This is Jay from Florence.
Jay, what's going on, my man?
Man, I'm a little confused on Burroughs, man. What you saying? He was like a troublemaker?
I mean, from the reports out there, it looked like it. There was a lot of, I guess, misunderstanding where all of that was concerned. It looked like it, but I mean, to me, it's just Saban's tired. Saban wants that strong culture back, man. So that's what he's doing. He's getting everybody to understand, look, we ain't trying to have no nonsense. We ain't trying to have no issues. We trying to get back to talking business, stating business, and meaning business. And if you ain't about this business, then you can find you somewhere else to be at. That's just kind of how I feel about it. Saban's trying to get back to that serious business. And like you've been saying, Jay, get yourself set up for the rest of the decade.
I mean, I understand all that, but man, I liked it, old Burroughs.
I did too. And I kind of had a feeling that this was going to be his year, either his year or Tim Smith's year, one of them. But I felt like this would more than likely be Burroughs' year.
Yeah, so that means James Smith and Curtis Perry, Nick them pretty much turned it over to the young guns, man.
I mean, at this point, Jay, you got to look at James Smith and Curtis Perry and turning those guys loose. Keon Keeley, Monkel Goodwine, just turning guys loose. I mean, now's the time to do it.
Goodwine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Yes, Steve. Hey, well, you know what I'm saying? All right, Burrow, I felt like you, homie. Don't do what you gonna do. Don't do what you gonna do. Matter of fact, go on out there to USC. Go way out west, get you a free ride, go see the pretty beach or something, and come to the playoffs so we can stump your face in. That'll be real nice to watch old McLaughlin come off that ball and find your nose one time. But I'm sorry, Steve. You know me. I like that line.
Hey,
that's me.
Jay, you help make this show what it is. It's not what it is without Jay coming on here being Jay.
My fault, man. Well, yeah, man. I just want to know if he's a troublemaker, man. But you're right. He getting us ready. He getting us right for the rest of the decade. If you're a bad apple, you got to go. Ain't nothing else to say about it, man. Roll Tide. I love y'all.
Appreciate Jay from Florence calling in here on a Friday. And it's like I mentioned, Alabama's got guys that can step up. They got the next man up on the roster. Whether they go with Justin Boybe, whether they go with T.M. Smith, whether it goes with Damon Payne or a Monkel Goodwine or a James Smith or a T.M. Keenan or a Keon Keeley. It really doesn't matter who you go with. You can pretty much play Russian roulette and just pick one. Wait a minute. Hold on. Don't play Russian roulette. That's not a good move there. Don't do that. Let's go with another one, Eli. You can pretty much play a dice game with it. There we go. You can pretty much play a dice game with it. No Russian roulettes around here. We can pretty much play a dice game with that. But going back to Will Anderson, got his photo shoot there with the Houston Texans. Houston has had some numbers that have been legendary in their careers. Probably the most legendary of all numbers, number 99, that won by J.J. Watt, who goes into the Houston Texans Ring of Honor this upcoming fall. Maybe Will Anderson can make the number 51. Another number that down the line may have to be retired. Who knows? Looking good throwing that jersey in his photo shoot. But we'll take a break right here, folks. We'll touch that dial. When we get back, we get into a conversation of Bama's got two guys on the offensive line ready to bring the pain. But will they play on the same side of the O-line? We'll talk about it after this.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, in my own words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, here we go, people. We are checking back into the action from the break on a Friday TGIF edition of the show. Number one ticket for all things Bama football, in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got my man Eli Walker in the production studio. Continue hitting that like button. Tap that thumbs up. Show us that love and support right there. Hit that subscribe button as well. Make this your place, your platform, your spot for all things Bama football. Be sure to share the show as well. Appreciate all of you guys for doing what you do here for the channel right here. But we get back into the conversation here, Eli, and this is on the offensive front. Bama's got two guys that are ready to bring the pain. They're ready to bring nothing but the pain here up front. And those two guys, none other than J.C. Latham and Tyler Booker. Booker and Latham. Book and Latham are ready to bring the pain on his offensive line. I go back to spring football. J.C. Latham said, I want people being afraid of us, being scared of us upon the time that we snap the football. I want us to be ruthless. I want us to be physical. I want us taking no prisoners here. J.C. Latham put on his Twitter page after the Sugar Bowl, Eli, he put, I want us to win the Joe Moore Award. I want to win the Outland Trophy. I want to win a national championship. I mean, J.C. Latham put some lofty goals on his Twitter page after the Sugar Bowl against Kansas State. And then you got Tyler Booker here, who shares the same mindset. Tough, mean, physical, wants to put you into the ground. Tyler Booker. So these two guys are trying to bring the pain up from the offensive line. Kind of a history on these two. Booker and Latham go back to high school, IMG Academy. They both played together at IMG. They played together on the defensive line, and then they got flipped over to the offensive line where they played together. And now they're playing together at Alabama. They have the exact same mindset. They're like brothers. I mean, they are brothers. They think like brothers. They take pictures together. They bond together. They hang around each other. Like, the question is going to be, where does Nick Saban play both of these two? Does Saban have both of them start on the left side of the offensive line? Which, if he does, left side, strong side, baby. If Saban has both of these two, Eli, on the left side of the offensive line, just run to the left. You just don't to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left, and the left. Like, you get to the left every single time, to the left. That Beyonce song, to the left. Go to the left. Even if he has them both to the right, run that ball to the right. Wherever Nick Saban has both of these two playing there, because I would like to see both of them play on the same side. I would. Now, I can also see a situation where that may not happen. He may have J.C. Latham at left tackle. He may put, maybe somebody else in that left guard spot. And then he may have Tyler Booker at right guard. He may put Caden Proctor in that right tackle spot. So they may not be on the same side. But wouldn't it be awesome, though, if they both were on the same side? I mean, how cool would that be? They're just pancaking people. Just taking people completely out of the stadium on the same side of the ball. Blocking people completely out of the play. I mean that would take you back, Eli, to like the 2012 offensive line, where you had guys that were on the same side and were just blocking people completely out of the play. I think it was that 2012 offensive line where Alabama had, I think it was Chance Warmack and DJ Fluker on that left side. Dear goodness. Like, they were just mauling people. There's a reason why Eddie Lacy and TJ Yeldon both went over 1,000 yards that season. Because you had DJ Fluker and, if I'm not mistaken, Chance Warmack both on the left side of the ball. So it's going to be intriguing to see here. Do you keep Latham and Booker, both from IMG, close friends, been around each other a long time? Do you have these two on the same side of the ball? Do you have one guy on one side, one guy on the other, and have a younger guy that they're trying to mentor, teach next to him? We'll see how Saban plays this. But, man, Booker and Latham, they are ready to bring the absolute pain to opposing defensive linemen in terms of getting this run game right for Alabama football, but also pass protection order also. Keep this in mind, Eli. J.C. Latham just joined the 1,000-pound squat club. Put that in your cerebellum for a minute. Let that rotate. J.C. Latham just joined the 1,000-pound squat club. David Ballou, assistant coaches U.J. Johnson, Paul Constantine, they put in work. That's going to take us to our next break, folks. We'll touch that dab. When we get back, we return to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. Line us up. We want to hear from you on a Friday right after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
This is Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people, we're back in here to the action, folks. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to join you guys on a Friday TGIF edition of the show. Got my man Eli Walker in the production studio. Continue tapping the like button. Give us a thumbs up right there. Show that support to us on the channel. Hit that subscribe button as well. Make this your show, your spot, your place, outlet for all things Crimson Tide football. We also got the message board here for all of you trying to be in that first wave of fans, group of fans to help us regrow, rebuild the message board. The link to the message board can be found in the chat line and in the description. Guys, shout out Brian Watson dropping in that $4.99 in the super chats. Brian Watson showing love right here on the show. Thanks to him. To all of you writing in, chatting in, calling in, donating in, making this your one stop, making this your place for all things Bama football. Eli, going back to the SEC network takeover, which starts on tomorrow. Here we go. We also have any Pruitt update. It's still quiet on Pruitt. I don't understand why. Nothing has been said yet. It's still quiet to this point. I'm still holding to the thought, no news, good news. I'm still holding to the thought that August 1, keep my fingers crossed, he arrives on the campus as a defensive analyst. Even though what Alabama's got on the coaching staff right now defensively is strong, you can add Pruitt. If you can add Pruitt as an analyst, that'll make it even better. But right now, no update. It's just been real quiet. I mean, quiet as you go into the doctor's office. Been that quiet right now. So at some point, can we get some answers? Can we get some information? Can we get something? Hopefully, but right now, quiet here when it comes down to any type of an update on one Jeremy Pruitt. But cool call topic right here. This one goes to, Alabama and the SEC. The SEC front office released its 2023 spring academic honor roll. And 16 Alabama football players made the academic honor roll list here, having a GPA of at least a 3.0. So among the players that did make that list here for the spring academic honor roll, the SEC, you look at guys like Tyler Booker was on there, Isaiah Hastings was on there, Kobe Prentice, Isaiah Bond, Kendrick Law, Earl Little, Jake Pope. Quite a few guys were on that list. Also, Ty Simpson was on the list as well. So quite a few names there. Antonio Kite was there. There are quite a few names there on this list. SEC academic honor roll for the spring this year, 2023. Big ups there to those Alabama players getting it done in the classroom, because Coach Saban loves it when you accomplish things on the field, you accomplish things in the classroom, you accomplish things in the community. being the full package, well-rounded athlete and person that you need to be. So big ups there to those student athletes for the Crimson Tide. Taking our final break here on the show. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we tidy up loose ends with this discussion. I go into why you should not be overly concerned, overly worried, and about the jump off the ledge, about the quarterback situation. We get into that, and we wrap things up after this.
I'm Malachi Moore. You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We're back into the action here, folks, from the break. Hottest show on the streets, talking your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith here of TDA. And while we were in the break, Eli, huge news came out. This is Alabama in terms of the NBA where basketball is concerned. My guy, Herb Jones, just signed a new deal to remain with the New Orleans Pelicans. It's being reported 4 years, $54 million for Herb Jones. Proud of that young man, the pride of Greensboro, Alabama, right in my neck of the area of the woods, hometown-wise. So kudos to Herb. He will stay with the Pelicans 4 years, $54 million. Herb deserves it. I know his mom, Miss V. Jones, is jumping up and down in the house. Herb got paid today. So happy there for my man, Herb Jones. But we wrap things up here, folks, with this conversation. And I know a lot of you guys up in arms, kind of concerned, worried about the entire quarterback situation on campus at the University of Alabama. You got 5 guys on the roster, and you're wondering which guy makes the most sense. You know, which guy can take this program and lead it to a national championship? Which guy gives Crimson Tide football the best opportunity to offset this momentum that's going on at Georgia? You know, which guy can do this for Nick Saban and this program? And for me here, I'm going to say, don't overly worry about this thing. And here's why you don't need to overly worry about this thing. Alabama literally has taken guys that we look at as game managers and have won national championships with them. Think about this. Greg McElroy was not one of those magic elite guys. You won a national championship with him. A.J. McCarron, though A.J. was good, he wasn't one of those magic elite showstoppers, right? You won 2 national championships with him as the starting quarterback from start to finish, wire to wire. From the beginning of the year to the end of the year, he was the guy, the starter, didn't get pulled out, and he wins national championships, 2 of them. 2015, you have Jacob Coker, who wasn't one of those elite show-stopping guys, but with Jacob Coker, for the most part, the exception of the Ole Miss game, took you to a national championship as the starter and won that for you. 2020, Mac Jones, when nobody really thought that Mac would be that guy, took you wire to wire. Star of the year, end of the year, 2020, won you a national championship. So I look at this as dynamic as Tua Tagovailoa and Bryce Young were and are. And I take nothing away from those two. Those two tremendous players, tremendous athletes, tremendous young men. Wish the utmost best for both of them in the National Football League. Absolutely. But when you look at it, those two, when they were the guy, the starter, the quarterback, like the Tupac song, All Eyes on Me, when it was all eyes on them as the quarterback starter, neither of those two won you a national championship. And they were elite, and they were top-tier talent, and they were undeniably great. But as the starting quarterback, the man, they're under the biggest of microscopes here, wire to wire, start to finish, right? Tua, Bryce, no national championship as the guy. So when you look at Alabama football here, the national championships, much of them anyway, has come with the guys around the quarterback position playing well, and then the quarterback that does not necessarily have all the magical traits winning it all. So here's a reason for you not to be jumping kind of over the ledge, because it's like, oh my gosh, there's no Bryce, there's no special, there's no sizzle, there's no this, I'm nervous, I'm scared. National champ. There wasn't a whole lot of sizzle with Greg McElroy, but there's a national championship in the trophy case. There wasn't a whole bunch of sizzle with A.J. McCarron, but there are two starting national championships in the trophy case. There wasn't a whole bunch of sizzle with Jacob Coker, but hey, there's a national championship in the trophy case. There wasn't a whole bunch of sizzle with Mac Jones, but there's a national championship in the trophy case. That's the main thing. I mean, if Georgia can take a transfer that was a former walk-on in Stetson Bennett and win 2 national championships with Stetson Bennett, and now Stetson Bennett is in the National Football League, then I think with the 4 and 5 stars Alabama's got on this roster, there is no reason to be over the ledge and out of sorts about the quarterback situation, because the talent around that position is there. You've got the running backs that you need. You've got the offensive line that you need. You've got the wide receivers, tight ends that you need. Now, of course, you want these guys to catch the football, but talent-wise, you got the tight ends and wide receivers that you need. Defense under Kevin Steele is going to be much better than what we've seen these last few years here under one Pete Golding. So, I, for one, am saying, do not allow yourself, as an Alabama fan, as an Alabama football consumer, to get bogged down by, we don't have this special, incredible wizardry of a quarterback. It's okay. It's okay. Take a breath of air. Inhale, exhale. Do that. You're fine. You are fine. This is a program that's got the talent on the roster. Fall camp is almost here. We're about to see what happens. But do not allow yourself to get unnecessarily overwhelmed about this whole quarterback situation. As always, people, you want the best in news, notes, information, material on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app on the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you have the Android phone for your audio needs. Check us out right now, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. Good and gracious Lord C-Spit, I'm trying to be back on Monday, continuing the conversation that is Bama football. Remember, Tide fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link found in the description. You're trying to get your hands on the fresh edition of TDA the magazine. Here's what you do. You go to touchdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member and or a subscriber today. That link in the description as well. And if you're trying to be a part of that message board, trying to be one of the first wave of people, wave of fans, group of fans to help us regrow, rebuild the message board. The link to the message board can be found in the chat line and in the description. But gotta shout out you guys, the outstanding fans of Bama football, for all the phone calls, the love, the conversations, super chats. You making this your show, your network, your spot to talk all things Bama football. Gotta shout out my man Eli Walk in the production studio, handling that business there from behind the scenes. I mean, Eli, the heat outside is trying to have me forget your name there, but I'm not gonna do that. Gotta shout out my man Eli Walk in the production studio, handling business right there. Till next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing, too. Not be bored there. Get yourself those 3 party meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. Protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.